Okay, y'all, I need some good old-fashioned retail therapy. Let's go see what the garden center has. So on my list of things I'm looking for today includes some potting soil. I want some more pots that match the ones I have in the backyard. I want some lemon coral sedum if they have it. Maybe some white plants, preferably perennials, for the front left side. And maybe some bedding plants of some kind to replace the violas that I have out in front along the front walk. So let's see what they have. Vinca could work as a low bedding plant. Do want purple and white though. In their Proven Winners cans, they didn't have anything that I was really looking for, but I'm over here in the Monrovia section, and they have this verbena that I might get. It's a pretty color, very vibrant purple. I really like it actually with those small calibrachoas right there. I like that color combo. This is called Cadet Upright Purple Verbena. It's an annual. It says it will spread 12 to 14 inches, and it wants moderately semi-moist soil. So I'm wondering if this would be good. Could get some of these. Hey, look what I found. Brand new racks that haven't even been put out on the floor yet with Proven Winners. And they do have some of the ready refill containers. These are pretty. They're not in my colors though. But this one, maybe. Let's look at the tag. Well, it doesn't say exactly which ones are in there. I'm not sure about that pink. All right, we have Prince Tut Grasses, Sparkling Rose Verbena, Super Bells Over Easy, Super Bells Yellow, more yellow. We have Diamond Frost Euphorbia. We have more Super Bells Yellow, and hey, looky here, Sparkling Amethyst. What if I put these together with these? Oh yeah, that's the one. I need 8 of each. Oh yeah, look at that. That's nice. That's going to be good. So I moved into the interior of the garden center and I found all the ready refill pots. This one here has tropical plants in it, and I decided against it because I don't really have a sunny area that I want to put something pink. But I tell you, these ready refill containers, these are really a nice idea for ease. Now, you can do it cheaper if you buy all the plants individually and put them together, but talk about like really being easy to do. Here's one Proven Winners one that I thought I might get, but I couldn't find a second one to match it, so I left that one behind. Some of these are just really pretty. It's just not in my color scheme for this year. I almost took a couple of these home, but I figured there were about a dozen of them there, and I thought, well, I'll think about it, and maybe I'll come back and get them later. Of course, every time I do that, I come back and get them later, and they're gone. So I should learn my lesson, but I just wasn't drawn to them enough to really put them in the basket. Then I spent a good amount of time just looking around, seeing what kind of plants they have. I love to walk through a garden center and look at all the plants, read their tags, and just, take in the information and build up my personal knowledge of different perennials and shrubs and what kinds there are on the market and what their needs are and how they, perform. It's one of my favorite things to do, and one of my favorite ways to learn about plants is just to go look at them and read the tags. I thought it was really interesting to see these two types of Shasta daisies right beside each other. It would really help you be able to make a decision about which one you want to have in your garden based on the foliage color and the foliage style, the shape of the leaves, the density of them, and also, of course, the flower size and flower colors too. It seemed to me that they had just restocked every single plant table and every available floor space with new plants. And then I realized, well, this was the Thursday before the Memorial Day holiday here in the United States, which is, in addition to being the observance of those lost in military service at war, it also culturally is the beginning of our summer season and the official kickoff to summer and the gardening season here. So that's probably why they were so fully stocked with so many plants right now. Now, I'm not really in the market for any more shrubs right now, of course, Okay, I'll just say that I was looking at all of them for the purpose of learning about them. Yeah, that's it. Here's a rack of small boxwoods and arborvitae that are being sold for $10.98. The same kind last year were $1 less, but that's the way of things right now, I guess. This clearance rack was pretty big, and I think it's because they've taken a lot of their spring blooming shrubs and perennials that look a little worse for the wear after their bloom cycles are done, and they've put them on clearance. I guess, the average Lowe's shopper doesn't really want to buy perennials whose bloom season have finished for the season. But this is where you can certainly score some really good deals on plants. I would just, use your smarts and stay away from the ones that aren't really going to perform much anymore. I would stay away from pansies, for example. They had pansies on the clearance rack, and now's not really the time to be buying pansies. But any sort of perennial or shrub that bloomed in the spring, sure, absolutely. Get it for a good price, get it in the ground, and give it a whole season before it's expected to bloom again. Now, I've been looking at the different sorts of spruces and junipers and things like that for quite a couple of years now, and especially the ones that are low growing, and these all look so vigorous and nice. And I don't know, something about these, especially like these bird's nest spruces or the Norway spruces, they just look so structural and elegant and stately to me. And I've hesitated to buy them because of their price. Really, they have a fairly high price, but there's something really attractive about them to me, and I might this season, find a place or find a way to put some of those in. These arborvitae look a little worse for the wear. Somebody forgot to water them, it looks like. Oh, and all the herbaceous shrubs over there. Lots of proven winter plants, rosacea, and of course a whole big section of little lime hydrangeas here. I don't have any of those. Maybe I should make room. Here's some more of those spruces. This one is a dwarf Norway spruce, and I just love the way that looks. I really should find a place for something like that. I like this one too. The color on this is very striking. Emerald Spreader Japanese Yew. That is deer candy in my neck of the woods, so I won't be putting that outside my fence anytime soon. And then there's all the butterfly bushes. I don't really want to put any butterfly bushes in unless I know for sure that they are not invasive. And then here are some more unbranded, very common plants. Compact hollies and different sorts of Japanese hollies. Winter gem boxwoods look pretty good. Oh right, I came here to get some pots. Let me find the pots that I've been using in the backyard. I do like the selection of resin pots they have here. Oh, there they are, right up there. Okay, so it took me 2 transactions and 2 trips to the car because my cart was not big enough to hold everything that I needed to get. But I got a great haul today from Lowe's. Good retail therapy session. Let's talk about what we got. Oh, you know what? I better drive home first. All right, so that's what I love. A trunk load of stuff from a garden center. So first, let me get this soil unloaded. I got 5 of these 32 quart bags. First plant I want to talk about is this candy tuft. This is snow cone candy tuft. It's a white, it's evergreen, but it's white, flowering in the spring. I have some already. I'd like to fill out some more areas with what I have. So I got these. And the thing about this is this was on the clearance rack because its bloom cycle is done. But gardeners know that just because a perennial's bloom cycle is done doesn't mean that the perennial isn't still a good plant. So Lowe's puts their already bloomed out things onto the clearance rack because Lowe's is marketing to all kinds of homeowners, not just gardeners. So I got a $7.48 plant for $4. So basically just over half price, just because it's done blooming. And so I'm going to be able to plant this. I might even divide it before I plant it. I'll have to look at the way it's structured, see if there's a good way to divide it. There might not be. Anyway, I got 2 of these and for $4 each. That's a really good deal for this size of a container for this mature of a plant. And that is a great deal. So clearance plants are a great deal for perennials that have finished blooming. I forgot to mention, there's a noisy truck. Hey, maybe that's my drip irrigation supplies coming. Maybe. You turn in? Nope. Went the wrong way. It's not my supplies. Okay, so snow cone candy tuft, or Iberis sempervirens snow cone. This is a mounding perennial. It wants full sun, and it's hardy down to zone 3, so it's really great for a lot of the United States and Canada. Average is 6 inches high and 12 to 15 inches wide, and you can see that this one's a little bit bigger than 6 inches tall. There's something not candy tuft in here. There's some kind of weed in this one. Yeah, I'll deal with that later. So anyway, it's about 6 inches tall when the flowering stalks are trimmed back, and about a foot wide. Yeah, 12 to 15 inches wide. It wants to be in full sun, and it wants to be moist in the first year and then just, average water after that. So this is a great plant. I have 2 other kinds of candy tuft. I don't know what the varieties are, and I don't really ever see big differences between the different varieties of candy tuft. So I'm happy to have this one. They did have some candy tuft there on the clearance rack. That was the Monrovia brand, and it was just more expensive. So the original price was $10 something, and that meant that the clearance price was only going to be like $8 or something, or I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't going to be as good of a deal as this one was. These plants look just as good, and so I'm happy to have 2 more candy tuft. Okay, how many of you saw the short that I put up a few days ago talking about white balance on the front flower beds? I have a lot of white over on the right side, south side, but I don't have much or any white on the north side. So I got some white plants. This is White Wands Veronica from Proven Winners. It's a type of Veronica, perennial, full sun. It's about 14 to 16 inches tall and space them 16 inches, 16 to 20 inches wide. It's hardy in zones 4 through 8, and it blooms in the early to mid-summer, and it wants full sun to part sun. So it's going to have these white bloom stalks. It'll get a little bit taller than this. These flowers were probably forced in a greenhouse, so in the landscape they'll perform a little bit differently. I believe that if you trim these back after the first flush of flowering is done, then it will send up more flowering later. So I bought 2 of these to put over onto the north side of the garden to balance off all of the white that I've got going on the south. I think you saw me pick this out. This is the annual tray that I got for the front area where I currently have hyacinths and violas. The hyacinth leaves are getting ready to be pulled out, and I'll leave the bulbs in there to bloom for next year, but we need some summer color in there. Those violas are doing great. They're beautiful, but they're only going to last another week or so before it's time to pull them out. So I got this as the start. This is Cadet Upright Purple Verbena. This is from Monrovia. These are annuals. They're not going to be hardy in my zone, but let me see if I can read about them. Okay, so it's good for birds, showy flower clusters, and fine foliage for season-long beauty in beds and containers. A true garden performer through hot and cold spells, deer resistant. Woohoo! Okay, 6 hours or more of direct sun. It wants to be pretty moist, so it's a good thing I've got drip irrigation going to be planned out for that front garden. It grows to be about 8 to 10 inches tall and 12 to 14 inches wide. And it blooms from spring through summer into fall, so that's very good. And it's hardy down to freezing, but it's not frost hardy. Okay, anyway, so I have 8 of these, and then I'm going to combine them with these, and I think this flower combination is going to be spectacular. So 2 types of verbena, annual verbena, both of them purple. This one is Proven Winners, Superbena Sparkling Amethyst, and this is a plant I already have in a lot of places. I already have the sparkling amethyst in my flower pillows that I bought that are on the courtyard garden, and I have sparkling amethyst in my window boxes out on the front of the house, and now they're going to be in the ground in this bedding area. So sparkling amethyst verbena, it's 6 to 12 inches tall and 10 to 14 inches wide, and it's not hardy. It's not cold hardy. Water regularly, wants full to part sun, doesn't have to be deadheaded, and it's good for containers and landscapes. So I think that the combination of these 2 colors together is going to be really a nice striking bedding planting for out front. So I got 8 of these as well. And I think actually right now, if I had to pick, this is a favorite plant of mine this season. Sparkling amethyst. It's pretty. I'm going to have to vacuum my car out pretty soon. Although I have to say, this is nothing compared to what it looks like sometimes. I forgot to bring my tarp this time. Okay, these things I don't know if I showed you or not. So remember when I was working on the north side garden, the shade garden over here, and I was rearranging and putting in impatiens and some coleus. Well, I needed more white impatiens, so I bought some more white impatiens. These are just, an 8-pack of cells, just the little tiniest little impatiens plants. But they'll grow, as you know, over the course of the summer, they'll grow to be 18 inches in diameter. So they're small but mighty. $4, $3.88 for 8 impatiens. And then it's just about time for my fence pots. I have currently got white pansies in the black pots that are hanging on the fence by our back and front gate. It's about time for those to be done. So I went with the Superbell's Holy Smokes Calibrachoa. Now, I have learned from watching other YouTubers that Calibrachoa are best in pots because they don't like to have wet feet. And so I think that's perfect because those pots hanging on the gate, they dry out pretty quick. Although the front ones now are on drip irrigation. So not sure I might have to adjust how much drip they get if they end up getting too much. But these are going to be good for a small container because they like to be dry more than they like to be wet. Sounds good to me. I also got this particular variety instead of something else because this has both purple and white on it. And as you know, purple and white is my color scheme for my annuals for this year. And I thought that instead of trying to cram two different plants into one pot, I figured I'd just go with the color that already has both colors in it. So I got 4 of these, one for each of the 4 gate pots that I have on my fence. Okay, next up, I got 3 more of these gray pots. I had someone comment recently asking where I got these gray pots that I have. I already got 3 or 4 of them in the landscape already. I got these at Lowe's, and so this is the 16-inch size. They also have a 20-inch size. I have both sizes in the garden already. I like my pots in the side shade garden to be inobtrusive. I don't want to be looking at the pots. I'd rather be looking at the plants. So that's why I love this plain gray with a very simple design on it. It's not much to look at. It's just enough design to be interesting, but not overpowering the plants. So picked up 3 more of those. I almost got some of the 20-inch ones as well, but I didn't have anything in particular in mind that I needed a plant in them. So I'll wait. I know they carried these last year. They have them this year. So I don't think there's a huge risk of them not having them if I need more of them in the future. I can hope that anyway, right? So these are going to be used in future container planting ideas that I have going on in my head. All right, speaking of container planting ideas that I have going on in my head, I'll just give you a little sneak peek of the things that I got for those ideas. Now, some of you are going to say, why would you ever purchase this plant? Kind of the way I say that when people buy English ivy. This is Creeping Jenny. I have 2 of them. This is the Goldilocks variety from Monrovia. And they are a beautiful chartreuse spreading vine. They can be... People tell me they're invasive. People tell me they get into the lawn. I've never had that trouble. I do have these in a couple of places in my garden. That fell off. I have these in a couple of places in my garden, and while they have spread, I don't mind it. I kind of like it, actually. It's a nice little bright pop of a ground cover in a dark, shady corner. Also, they're easy to eradicate in my experience. In fact, the way we mulch around here, pretty much 2 inches of treaded hardwood mulch on top of last year's returning Creeping Jenny pretty much takes care of it. I have, but also pulling them is not too hard. So I like the way they look in a container, and I don't feel bad about purchasing. I do have some already. I only bought 2. I'm going to need more than 2, but I already have some in different areas that I'll be able to kind of pilfer from one spot to do what I need. So Creeping Jenny. So these are they're perennial for me. Let's see. This says they want morning sun, part sun part sun. They want to be moist, and they're hardy down to -30. So that's pretty good. I bought 2 coleus. Now, coleus is not my favorite plant in the world. I know there are a million varieties of coleus of all different colors and combinations of colors and leaf textures and things like that. I just really don't like most of them, but this one I kind of like because if you remember from my side garden area, green, red or purple, and white is what I've got going on over there, and this one is just a really nice subtle red. It's not as like splashy in your face red as some of the other coleus. It's more purplish than it is red, and I think this will be a really nice addition to the north side yard shade garden. I got 2 of these. This is it's just the Lowe's brand. Colors of Coleus is what it's called. Rodeo Drive Coleus. So I got 2 of these, and I'm happy with the way those look. And the last things that I bought are just, simple container planting things, just some Dracaena spikes. $3 each, $2.98. I got 2 of them. Again, this is just a Dracaena indivisa, upright annual. It wants to be watered twice a week, and you use it for its foliage, and it'll grow to be 12 to 24 inches tall, 24 to 48 inches wide. I've never had a Dracaena get 48 inches wide, but I suppose if you lived in a warmer zone and gave it all the room that it wanted, it probably could get that big. In fact, I think these are, you could take these inside and use them as a houseplant if you wanted to in the winter, and then use them again next year. I might try that this year. I might not. I don't know. So this one actually has two fronds in it. One of them's more green and one of them's more brown. Does this one have that too? This one actually has three fronds in it. Bonus. Two browns and a green. I guess they're all brown and green mixed coloration. So not brown so much as kind of a bronze. It's kind of brown. What do you think? Is that brown, bronze, red? What would you call that color? I kind of call it brown. So anyway, this one seems to be full. I should have looked at the store to make sure that I was getting the same vigorousness. 3 fronds, 2 fronds. I should have gotten 2 of them with 3 fronds. Always check your plants at the store because some of them are just better deals than the others. So this one is a better deal than this one. So silly me, I didn't check. All right, well, that brings me to the end of this plant haul. I just want to mention one thing. I tend to show a lot of me purchasing plants and putting them in the garden, and the gardening doesn't have to be an expensive endeavor. I hope I've shown you through my winter sowing and my indoor seed sowing projects this winter that you can also get a lot of plants for a very inexpensive price by doing winter sowing method or indoor sowing methods. And you can get a lot of plants in your garden that way. Using what you have, getting plants from friends, and just digging and dividing things you already have, that's a great way to fill up your garden. So don't think that just because I'm showing you me purchasing a lot of plants, that means that gardening has to be an expensive thing. Have you been to a garden center recently? Do you tend to go to the independent nurseries, or do you like to go to the big box stores like Lowe's like I did today? I tend to go to all of the different ones. I think Lowe's is a really nice basics, get the foundations of your garden going at Lowe's, and then I go to the garden centers for the more particular varieties that I'm looking for, or for shrubs or trees, or the higher quality, harder to find things. How about you? What are you doing in your garden recently? Have you been planting? Have you been buying? Have you been waiting? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's all share what we're doing with our plantings at this time of year. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video real soon. Thanks so much. Bye.